Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. This is the All Star Options Jam session. I'm the host, Sean McLaughlin, at Options Sean on Twitter. Hope you guys are having a great week. We got St. Patrick's Day this weekend, don't we? Oh, yeah. March Madness is on deck. Whew, a lot of fun stuff happening. Uh, but you know what else is fun? The stock market's been fun. Man, there's been a lot of big moves happening. We got a lot of long exposure that continues to work, thankfully, knock on wood. But before we get into all those charts, I just have to drop the old disclaimer here, just to let you know that I'm showing you what I'm doing with my money. I hope you are learning something along the way. Now, for those of you who are new here, what we do here in the All Star Options Jam session is we review any action in the portfolio or any action amongst the trade ideas that we have in All Star Options, any trades that we may have exited, whether for a profit or for a loss, any trades we may have made any adjustments to. We also review updated stops. We update stops in some of our ongoing positions. Most of the positions we put on at All Star Options tend to last, if they're winners, they might last for several weeks or several months. If we're lucky, that means they're really working. If they're losing, sometimes we're out quick, and we got one of those that we'll talk about today. But let's start at the high level at the top. Here's the S&P 500. As you can see, the breakout just continues, just chugging higher. No signs of slowing down yet. Of course, now that I said that, I've just jinxed it, and now the market's going to crash tomorrow. We'll see. But right now, it's all systems go. Longs are working. Shorts are not working. So what other confirmation do you need that we need to be focused on the long side? Next chart up here is Volatility Index VIX. Once again, not raising any red flags right now, just kind of chopping around at these low levels. So the market's telling us there's really nothing to be too concerned about here. Now, of course, the market always has other ideas and can certainly throw a monkey wrench into all of our best laid plans. But for now, it seems to be pretty smooth sailing in the market. All right, let's talk about some positions that we've exited since we last spoke. We'll start with the good news. Uber. We finally got out of this trade. These options expire tomorrow. We were in March. 60 calls that we bought back on November 8th. We've been talking about this on the last few shows because we've been trailing a stop as we've gotten very close to expiration. Our stop got triggered on the 11th. So what was that? That was Monday. We got out, and we got out at a very good profit. We bought these calls for $1.55. We exited them this week for $17.55. Big win, our biggest win on the books so far for 2024. We have a couple contenders that might dethrone Uber, which is a good thing. But right now, Uber is our biggest winner for the year, and we are now out of it. So congrats to any of you who also rode this trend with us. Boy, when we got in back on November 8th, it looked like we were due for a pullback, right? I mean, this was a hard trade, and I talked about it when we put the trade on. It's hard buying a stock that's already ripped 10 points before you get in, but boy, did we get rewarded. We had a little shake and bake right here, but we were still comfortably in profits at that point, so no reason to panic. But other than this little shake and bake, boy, we've had quite a nice run in Uber. So we are out of Uber. Next up, Datadog, DDOG. Here's one where we got stopped out, but the good news is we actually still eked out a profit in this trade. Not the profit we were looking for, of course, but we were able to get out at a profit. Back on December 4th, you can see it in here, this little circled area. We bought a bull call spread in July options. We bought the July 120 calls and shorted the July 150 calls. We paid $9.90 for it to get in on the 4th. Well, as the stock was moving higher, we started moving up our trailing stop, especially for those of you who've been watching these episodes for the last few weeks. We were raising our stops a little bit more aggressively on the off chance that the market was due for a pullback. And so Datadog was one of those positions that we aggressively trailed to stop. And hey, we got tripped up. We might regret it later on, but that's okay. We got to stick to our best practices. But hey, we paid $9.90 to get in. We got out for $10.55. So we made a profit, a small profit, not the profits that get us excited, but a profit of any size is always better than a loss, right? Okay, next up, TJX companies. Man, here's a trade that just, man, this one just sucks. This is no fun. We got in back on January 10th, and our whole thesis was we were playing for the $100 roll, and we got it. TJX ripped up to and through $100. It traded as high as 103. Our plan was to take profits if it got to 106. Usually with a $100 roll, we can get a good 5 to 10 additional points. Not always, but that was our plan. We never got there, which is a bummer. So we got to 100. We got to and through 100, which is what we were playing for, but we didn't hit our profit target, and we ended up getting whipsawed out on the 8th. So on Friday of last week, we had to pull the trigger and exit this trade. We paid $1.60 for it for the April 100 calls. We got out for 83 cents. So, not a total loss, of course, but this one stings. This one sucks because we had some good profits in this one. We were feeling pretty good about this. But hey, that's the cost of doing business. We never want to take profits too soon. Because if we take profits too soon, if we took profits on this TJX when it was 101, let's say, right, then we never get an opportunity to have a big winner like we did in Uber, right? Same thing. And when we bought here, if we sold at the first reaction here trying to lock in profits, well, we would have missed the meat of our profits, the vast majority of our profits that came later. All right, so it's never fun to turn a winning trade into a loser. But that's the cost of trying to hold big winners. We need the big winners to pay for all the small losers that we incur. We lose on more trades than we win on. All right, that's true for most traders. It's certainly true for me. It's certainly true for all the trades we do on All-Star Options. We lose more often than we win, but we're profitable long term because the winning trades, the occasional winning trades that are very large, more than make up for all the losing trades. That's the math you want working in your favor. All right. So you got to suffer through a TJX every once in a while to earn an Uber. Okay. So that's the lesson there. So that sucks, but we're moving on. And the last trade we exited this week is Mara, ticker MARA. We got out of this today, actually. Boy, I'm just snake bitten in this stock. I've tried several times to buy a breakout in this thing, and it just keeps not working for me. We bought a bull call spread in June options back on the 6th. So just recently we got in, this trade was on for just a little bit more than a week. We bought the June 25 calls and shorted the June 50 calls. We paid $3.50 for it back on the 6th. Well, we got out today. Our exit price was $2.05. So not a total loss, of course, better than a full loss. And we always size our positions with the very real possibility that we might lose 100% of the premium we pay on a trade like this. So losing 205 or losing $1.45 out of 350, that's not bad. We'll take it. Those are the types of losses we'll take all day long. Okay, we got a few updated, some stops to update on some of our ongoing positions. Lululemon is a bearish position that we have on, one of those portfolio hedges that we've been riding for the last few weeks. It's not working for us, and we're getting pretty close to our exit. 472 is now my stop loss level in Lululemon. We're long a bear put spread, so we're long the April 420 puts and short the 380 puts. We paid $6.50 for this. Right now, our stop's at 420 or 472. Any close above 472 will get me out of Lululemon. Okay, C Limited. This is an interesting thing to talk about. This thing is one of those trades that just ripped our way almost immediately, which is great. All of our biggest winners, not all, but most of our biggest winners tend to start working for us very early in the trade. And so C Limited is looking like one of those trades that could be one of those big winners. We'll see. We'll see. We don't know. We can't tell the future. But one thing I do want to point out is we had a trade plan on C Limited, which was a little unusual. If it traded down below 41, I think it was the level. Maybe it was 39. I forget. It doesn't matter anymore because I moved on. But we had a level where we were going to buy puts because we're in a risk reversal, right? We're short the June 35 puts and we're long the June 65 calls. We had a plan in place that if a C Limited traded down below our entry, we were going to buy some puts to hedge this position just to give us a little bit more staying power. Well, scrap that whole idea now. This thing has worked really well for us. Now we have a stop loss level at 45. So if C Limited comes back down and trades below 45, if we get a closing price below 45, I'm just pulling the plug on the whole trade, getting out of the whole trade, selling the calls, covering the puts. It may be a profit, it may be a loss. It kind of, there's a lot of moving parts there. But right now we're sitting really pretty in C Limited. And if we get above 65, which we're threatening to get there soon, we will be taking some profits off this trade. I'll keep you guys updated in the chat if and when we do that. But C Limited, 45 is now our drop dead level. We're getting out if it trades back to 45. Hopefully it doesn't. That would be a significant pullback from here. All right, next up. Amphenol, ticker APH, an electronics play, I believe. We're long the July 120 calls. We paid $1.64 and we got into them on the 26th right here. It's starting to move our way. It's doing a little healthy upside flag here, a little consolidation. I don't hate that at all, but we're moving up our stop. Our stop is now at 105. Any close below 105 gets me out of APH. And hey, how about the good news in Robinhood today? Had a nice big move in Robinhood. You can see this candle up here. There was some news about their trading volumes or something. No surprise, right? Because have a lot of heavy crypto trading on their platform. So trading volumes are exceeding expectations, it sounds like. Whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I only follow price, and right now price is agreeing with us. We got into this trade quite recently, just about 2 weeks ago. We bought a bull call spread in September. We bought the September 20 calls and shorted the September 30 calls. We paid $1.35 for it. Right now, it's looking pretty good, but we have still a ways to go. But I like the trend at the moment. But either way, 1550 is now my stop in Robinhood, which would be just below this consolidation right in here. And to close below 1550, I'm cutting the trade in Robinhood. Okay, that's it for all the updated stops. Now quickly, I'll just go through new trades that we've put on since we last spoke. All-Star Options subscribers, you can find all the details for all these trades on the blog. Just go to allstarcharts.com, go to the members section, go to the options section. You will find detailed trade plans for all of these trades. You'll see why we like the trade, what setup we like, the structure of the options trade that we've put on, and where we will stop out of it, where we will take profits, etc. The whole plan is all in there. We do that for every one of these trades. If you don't have access to All-Star Options, what are you doing? Shoot us an email, info at allstarcharts.com, and we'll hook you up. And you'll get the trade plans. You'll get to get invited to our online our live chat community where you could chat with me, you could chat with others in the community and share ideas and get feedback and all that good stuff. Anyway, let's talk about DoorDash real quick. We put a bullish trade on DoorDash again. I'm not going to get into the details; they're on the blog. But DoorDash, we are bullish on. The next trade here, XBI. Now we should talk about this. This is a bullish trade that we put on. This week, I believe, on Monday, maybe? Yeah, it was Monday. We put this trade on Monday, and we might already get stopped out of this thing. It traded below our stop loss level intraday today. I'm going to wait for the closing price, of course. I want to see where it closes. I wait for closing prices, and then if it closes below my stop, then I look to exit at the next trading day. I don't like to get stopped out with intraday noise. But right now, XBI, it's on notice. But you know what? When you put on a trade and it quickly loses, I would rather have it be a quick loss, right? Just rip the Band-Aid off, just get out, move on to the next trade. Oftentimes also when it's a quick loss, the losses tend to be a little bit smaller. That may or may not be the case here. We'll see what the market has in store for us, but hey, I don't mind getting stopped out quick. That's okay. All right, next up is SL Green Realty. We got into this trade yesterday. SLG, it's a real estate a REIT start. What do you call those? Real Estate Investment Trust. That's what a REIT stands for. It's a play on New York City, Manhattan, particularly real estate. We like this setup. We like this base. We like this resolution. It could also benefit from interest rate, any moves in interest rates. Anyway, I don't care. I just follow price. And right now, price is telling me that it wants to break out of this consolidation and it could make a run up towards 69, which would be a really good place for us to take some profits. But all the details for that trade, again, are on the blog. All right, folks, that's all I got for you today for this week. If you have any questions, shoot us an email, info@allstarcharts.com. Follow me on Twitter. I'm @OptionsSean. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy March Madness, whatever's happening this weekend. I think there's games this weekend, right? Anyway, enjoy your weekend. We'll talk next week. I'll see you on the morning show. Until then, take care.